Welcome to Market Radio. Today we're talking with Pat Beechinor, CEO of TheNewswire, a Canadian-owned Tier 1 newswire service. Pat, good morning.
Jim, how are you?
Very well. Thanks for joining us. Pat, TheNewswire has been TSE approved. That's a major accomplishment and a major opportunity, I would assume.
Yeah, it is a major accomplishment. You know, we're certainly not new as a service. We've been around 15 years as the Newswire. My own background, I've been in the newswire industry, I guess 20 plus now, and as a journalist, radio guy, I've had that career for 30 years plus now. So it is a major accomplishment. It's not a surprise. You know, IROC and the TSE itself have been familiar with this for a long time. They decided to sit down and say, okay, we're going to cross-check your veracity and reach, make sure you meet all the parameters that we have. My job now is to make it clear to all TSE companies who are open for business and give us a free trial.
The Newswire is the only newswire service in the industry that we know of that offers a flat rate. First, what's the strategy behind that? How and where did that come from?
Well, our pricing structure came as a result, actually, of my own radio and news background. I started in news in the mid-'80s, and at the time I was working in BC as a junior reporter, and we had an old machine sitting in the corner of our newsroom. It was covered in plastic, dust, and I asked my boss at the time what it was, and he explained it was a telecopier, and that's how newsrooms and newswires wrote, rewrote, and interdispersed stories amongst themselves. So fast forward to 2000 when I left radio and I started working for public companies, and I saw press release distribution bills, and they were always different. So when I asked the management of the companies what was going on, they explained that they were charged per word, per page to put out news. And a light went on in my head, and I realized that the incumbent newswires had a monopoly on a very convenient billing system on per word, per page. Now, fast forward to today, no one rewrites press releases, and as such, no one should be being charged on a per word basis unless words have weight, which they don't, and we're not hauling cargo. So we brought in a structure wherein our starting rate and our flat rate for per press release, unlimited words, unlimited pages of the release, maxes out at $250. That's all Canada, US. And if you want annual packages, they're very simple. CSE is $1,500 for the year. Venture is $2,500 for the year. And for senior board TSE companies, when we start to build, it's going to be $5,000 for the year with zero extra costs. That's it. Flat rate means flat rate. Give us a try.
Pat, your background is in media, news in particular, and you've obviously brought those skill sets to the Newswire. How does that help the company?
Well, I'm a media person, radio news guy myself, and it was a conscious decision to hire fellow journalists, some in print, some from radio, some from television. And the reason for it is that aside from timely disclosure, we actually do provide legitimate, full-blown media targeting. And I'm a real believer that when I go to a doctor's office, it's probably a good idea that the people work there have a bit of medical training. And that's the mentality that we have at the Newswire, is that if you're in the Newswire business and work in our newsroom, it is a newsroom and you need to have experience. So we bring that to the table, and I do think it's of value.
Using the flat rate system seems like you could save companies sizable money on their dissemination of key information.
Well, the whole mandate of our company is again, to take a company, provide them a fixed set amount that they're going to spend on press releases through the course of the year, and then allow them to have access to other features and tools that they can better their ability to communicate. So a couple that immediately come to mind. One, all of our maps and images are free. There's no cost to insert those whatsoever. And it kind of goes back to the per word per page thing. I mean, it's the same with images. I mean, why would you charge more for an image? So free images and maps, there's zero cost for that. We're the only newswire that provides streaming video within press releases at zero cost. And by streaming within, what I mean is when you see the press release, there's video within there. When you click it, it plays within the release. It doesn't boot you to another browser. And in particular, if you're on an iPhone, that's disconcerting to be reading something, you click play, and all of a sudden you're on a new website. And then you got to go back. Additionally, because we are broadcasters, at least myself by trade, we now have audio-enhanced press releases. These are specifically designed to allow a company or the CEO of a company to explain exactly what a press release means. And this is really pertinent to the cannabis sector because the regulators are getting more onerous in the way you have to legally word press releases. They're almost unreadable. So audio enhancement allows the guest, the CEO, to get away from vernacular, use layman's terms and explain what's going on. But there's an added bonus to that. It's a bit of a vanity factor, but it's effective. And the thing we're trying to allow companies to do, or at least the CEOs, is that it allows them to be the voice of the company and in some cases the voice of an industry. And the best way I can illustrate it is Elon Musk. I mean, I defy most people, unless you're a car enthusiast, to name the CEO of another car maker. You can't. You can name Elon Musk, though, because he's expert at putting himself front and center of all of the announcements at Tesla. He has good sound bites, he's good with media, and he's really good at what he does. And we have the ability to help our clients do exactly that.
So how do people reach out and get more information on the Newswire and maybe look at getting their first free trial?
Simple. Just go to TheNewswire.com and you can get all of our email addresses, et cetera, there. And again, a reminder, there's a free press release for all companies that would like to try us out that are new to us. And as far as the TSE companies, you can get a hold of me because I think we're going to run free press releases for any and all TSE issuers straight up until the month of September. So give us a call.
Thanks for taking some time to give us some background on the Newswire. Congratulations on the TSE listing and all the best in the future.
Jim, thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Today we've been talking with Pat Beechinor, CEO of The Newswire, a Canadian-owned Tier 1 newswire service. If you'd like more information, you can go to thenewswire.com. For Market Radio, I'm Jim Ripley.